Hey, what's going on, everyone? New World Order Survival Guide. Today, I just want to get in to quite an important topic about the first things that will be taken from you or tried to be taken from you in a shit hits the fan scenario. Now, you got this in a couple categories. You got government and you got people. Government, the first thing they're going to take from you is your constitutional rights. Pure and simple. We already seen bites and pieces of that type of action. Every time there's somewhat of a disaster, look at Katrina, look at the bullshit, Boston bombing, just all sorts of stuff. You know, they're going to limit you on a lot of things. And a couple of these things I'm going to mention is part of that constitutional deletion. They may use, and they probably will, use martial law for that. Freedom. They are going to take your freedom, or at the very least, limit your freedom. They're going to place curfew, obviously, like they always do. Set a curfew. They're going to put roadblocks, close bridges, close BLM lands, close national parks, close a lot of things, including pinch off main corridors all over this country. That limits and seizes your right to travel. Not to mention, they will also take that right from you. No flying and stuff like that. They won't allow you to go to other countries. So if you're from, or if you have family from another country, you are not going to be able to leave. We've already seen that before. And that's what they pretty much do internationally when there's some sort of crisis or whatnot. But if shit hits the fan, believe me, it's going to be worse than anything we've ever seen before. Shopping. They're going to control the shopping. They're going to limit what you could buy. Like grocery stores. See, government can manipulate and control everything. All businesses and everything. So they might not be able to control everything from a personal standpoint, but stores, schools, everything like that, they're absolutely going to control. You remember on some of these past events, they're talking about keeping your children and housing them at the school and not with their families. They always try to tug at that when there's something big, you know, when it's always created by the government anyways. But they have a solution, a smarter, safer solution for your children, and it's not being with you. It's being with them. You'll be protected. They have the ability to close and shut down stores, stop import exports therefore limits, restricts, and even keeps you from getting food and water. Everything will be in their control. Not to mention the laws that they have in place. I've done a previous show on this some months ago, where government supposedly can legally take all of your preps. You name it. Batteries, water jugs, farm equipment. I mean, just everything. In a disaster or a shit hits the fan scenario, they have agencies set in place to handle that. And at the end, if you stay with me to the end of this show, which is not going to be very long, I will have a handful of solutions for these type of events. Medical. They can prevent you from getting medical treatment. They set the standards. Whatever they say goes. They close hospitals. They can set the rules and regulations for these hospitals of who can be seen or whatever. All sorts of stuff like that. So they're gonna get you completely by the, you know what? And there's nothing you can do about that, because governments / who's above the governments, non-GOs, are non-government organizations that control our government, have the complete say-so and set the rules and regulations for everything. Now, jumping to people, civilians. What will they take in a shit hits the fan scenario? Simple. Everything. Anything they can possibly get their hands on, they're going to attack the weaker, the more that they see that you're not a threat to them, or as much of a threat to them compared to what they got and what they can use as weapons. They're going to take you for everything you got. I ain't got to get into everything. You already know: food, water, blankets, medication, guns, ammo, knives. I mean, just literally anything and everything. So everybody's going to have a hit on them. Everybody's on a list, because some of these things between government and people, what they're going to use for weapons, a big one is groups, especially as far as people. They're going to build their little militia, so to speak, of groups, gangs. It could be organized crime. And the shit hits the fan, you're going to see a lot of organized type deals. And they're going to be torpedoing and getting the supplies that their group needs and are commanded by their shot callers, by their leaders. They're going to get everything. And they're going to go out roaming the streets, plumaging, looking for targets. Everybody's a target. But items are on their target list. Guns and ammo, definitely. That's always a big one. You have a gun, you rob somebody or take their gun or guns, then they have more guns. More guns equals more stuff. Manipulation. is another weapon that's going to be used by government and average people. Manipulation is a tactic, is a psychological tactic to convince people in many different aspects. It could be anything. To take your stuff, maybe take one of your kids and hold them as ransom or something. I mean, anything goes with a lot of these people in that type of situation. Government will use manipulation to bribe you. A family starving, your kids starving. They close down the stores. Something like that. They're going to entice you with food and water or medical treatment or something like that. Maybe you or your family has a medical condition that you desperately need medicine. They are going to manipulate and create a situation where you're going to be desperate and you'll have no choice but to cave in to save a life of you or your loved ones. And they're going to use desperation against you. Absolutely. Especially the government. They know you're desperate. They know you'll do anything for certain things. And that's how they're going to get you. Weapons. Government obviously can use military or some kind of paid mercenaries or some sort to handle the business. Obviously, they've been letting all these people across the border. Don't forget, military aged men from all around the world. That hasn't gone unforgotten. Hasn't gone unchecked. Because those people are still here. And only thing you're hearing about is the Venezuelans. You ain't hearing nothing anymore about the Chinese, the Russian, all these huge groups. Tons of thousands of people from all these other countries. You're not hearing nothing about them anymore. It's like swept under the rug. I don't forget, and neither should you. Those people are here for a purpose. The whole world didn't send thousands and thousands and millions of people over here all at the same exact time for nothing. They wanted your focus to be on the Venezuelans and forget all about all these other foreign opposition countries sending millions of people over here. Don't forget about that. Don't forget how they fully armed FEMA, fully armed the IRS, and for years, how they've taken our ammunition from stores and had contracts with these manufacturers that gave them small arms ammunition, and it restricted us, and we couldn't even find it. They had billions of rounds. You know, where did that go? Oh, they have it. They have it. You can't forget stuff like that. Now, quickly, I'm going to get into the solutions. The solutions can be very tricky. Now, when you buy stuff, it's always best to buy with prepaid credit cards or cash. That's not always an option, especially for good deals. like they have on the internet and stuff like that. You have to have a plan. If you're confronted by agents, you got to tell them you used it, you spent it, you gave it away as gifts. Who'd you give it to? None of your fucking business. You know, you got to stock up. Stock up now. You stock up years ago. But, you know, being late on stocking up is better than nothing. Stock up ammunition. Get what firearms you can before these laws completely restrict. Because they're caving in. Second Amendment, gun rights, they're spoon feeding you on taking away your rights, including your Second Amendment. They're spoon feeding you, taking that shit from you, making more restrictions and everything, where it's damn near, pretty soon it's going to be damn near impossible. Get what you can now while you can. You don't, and you don't want to be fighting this, in the beginning of a crisis when everybody's rushing to the stores to get supplies. Stock up on everything, including medical supplies, especially when they had the potential to close down hospitals and clinics and stuff like that. Get a well-built medical kit, a well-built trauma kit, dental kit. Get that stuff now. Get a group going. Get people that you can trust and have a plan. I know it's hard because there's a lot of stupid asses out there that, you know, don't believe in prepping or anything like that, and they think you're a psycho and a nut job. You know, even if it's not a lot of people, at least have one or two group, families, or people. You know, it's just, it depends. Quality is always better than quantity, because the quantity, you can soon find out that you have enemies within, and they can't be trusted. So, and rule number 1, tell nobody. Don't go tell your neighbors unless they're part of the group that you trust. Anybody else, don't make it known. That could be, you could be your own worst enemy by doing that. Or telling people that like to talk and tell other people and stuff like that. And when the shit hits the fan, that's when you're going to find out. So, another thing is hide. You get stuff, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You take it away from your property, find someplace secure that nobody's watching, that is completely hidden. Mark where that is. Not physically mark like a big X on wherever you put it, but have something that you can for surely find that will locate you to your stash spot, your cash. Very important you don't keep it, because if government comes knocking on that door, they already know what they're looking for. You got to be smart and hide it. And if you get overtaken by a mob of people, they're looking for specific things. And it's pretty much anything that can be of value to them and useful to them, which is practically anything. Be prepared. Plan. Be prepared. Expect the unexpected always. Because you know that they're coming for your shit, no matter who it is. Be prepared. So that's basically all that I want to talk about, man. People are going to be coming for your shit in a shit hits the fan scenario. Government and regular people, anything and everything. People are going to be desperate. People are going to be hungry. People are going to be thirsty. And then they're just people that just want to take shit so they can have a huge stockpile and they could disperse it and use it as bribery or bartering or anything. Because shit hits fan, that's when it gets nutty. That's when it gets real crazy. So that's all I have for today. Please keep that in mind. If you have any other ideas, drop them in the comments below. I know there's tons of other stuff. I just want to get down to some of the basics that are most important. And yeah. So, New World Order Survival Guy. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.